Hey Camille, so we're gonna be looking at a few of your throws from the meet as well as the one you sent me from practice. So we'll start off by looking at all three of the throws. This first one is one of the throws from your meet. Again, this is one of your full glides from your PR meet that you sent me. You see the setup here. Again, you're starting to reverse at this meet we talked about. So when your first time reversing in a meet, so good to see that progress. Getting set up, finishing delivery there, and then let's go look at your practice video that you sent. All right, so we'll start off with your meet videos, and then we'll go to your practice one. Talk about a few things. First thing we're going to prioritize again is you work from the back of the circle to the front, from the ground up. We're trying to identify areas of opportunity for the throw. So specifically, something that we're going to want to look at is a few things on your setup here as you start your throw. So one thing we're going to want to look at is as you're doing your load and coil here, we want to try to get at this point a couple things. One, try not to let your left knee, get so high up and so far up to your right knee. So again, ideally your left knee when you're doing your loading coil would stop right about here. Here would be even better before you start that drive back with your right leg. So again, not letting that left knee get all the way up here to start, but again, right here will be perfect, or even here, instead of getting all the way up here, your left leg. And then secondly, we want to try to drop your hips down. That's going to be the main thing that we're going to look at as far as your setup is trying to get your hips to drop down a little bit lower. As you see throughout this glide, your hips are not necessarily dropping like we want. And so if we just go back a little bit so you can see this in slow motion. Again, your load and coil is here. Here's your drive back, getting to the front, your finish and delivery. Again, we're not really seeing that hip drop that we would like in the from the front to the middle of the throw to that catching that right foot. So again, your left knee here, trying to drop your hips here. So what that means is getting your hips a little bit lower, and you're going to feel it on your right foot, right? So that's where that single leg strength comes into play at. You're going to feel it on your right foot because you're putting more weight on it than what you normally would when you drop those hips a little bit lower. So again, that's what we want. Just get these hips a little bit lower, get that left knee to right about here when you're starting your kickback. Um, and then the other thing that I know we've talked about before is really right at this point we want to see that heel push back more. We're going to look at exactly why in a moment, but again, those are the main things we want. Your wrap as well. So re-wrapping that left arm is another thing that we want to get here. We want to get you some more wrap here and not letting your left arm get open before your left foot even is grounded completely. Is something else we want to look at, and we can look at your other throw from the same meet. Again, we can kind of see the same things that we're going to work on, which are your your left knee not coming your left knee not coming so high and so close to that right. So right about when you're loading, right about here really would be ideal. Right about here for that left leg, and then dropping your hips a little bit more at this point because this is when you're loaded and you're coiled and ready to kick back. So getting that hip a little bit lower at this point as well. And then again, right, pushing off that heel, and then again trying to make sure like this throw is pretty solid with that wrap. Again, just making sure we're consistent with that. And then if we look at this throw, which I think kind of show it even better, we definitely want to make sure we're um, focusing on those things here. So again, here, when we look at your throw, that left knee not getting so high and so close. So really stopping it right about here, or even here would be perfect for that kickback. And then going forward with it, dropping your hips. Again, you see a slight drop here. If you notice a slight drop here, but trying to work on gradually over time, getting that even more of a drop, right? From here to here. It's very small but noticeable. Again, when we look at the a video I'm gonna show you in a second, you're gonna see that professionals have much more of a defined drop in their hips when they're kind of loading and coiling, and it's gonna help with some of the other things as far as making the throw more efficient. Um, and then again, really emphasizing at this point, trying to get you getting into the flat position. You got your leg at 90 degrees. Your toe is not above your knee, right? So you're keeping that left foot low to the ground, which is a good improvement to help with getting in that double support faster. But next thing is really getting out of the back off of that right heel. It's going to help you out a lot. So let's just look at a few of the things we were talking about, maybe from another perspective. So what you kind of see here, again, this is a professional thrower, of course, but what you kind of see here is again that flat foot like you have low to the low low left foot compared to the ground, not above the knee, which is exactly what we want to see there. But the main reason that we kind of want to look at getting you off of the heel is because of the fact that later on we want to be able to actually get you to stay in contact with the ground a little bit longer. So you can kind of see it in this video that we're looking at now, but there should be when you're in this flat foot position, your right is flat before you push off with your heel. You should be kicking back with your left even more. So he's a professional, and his left is almost to the toe board. By the time he's starting to pick up his right toe, but for you, even at your level, we want to start really reaching back and really being patient with that right. And you can see on his throw, he's going to start picking up his right toe in a moment to kick back. But again, we really want to be patient here with this right, because if you think about it, your left's getting all the way to the front of the circle into double support faster, and you haven't even brought your right under you in the middle yet. So it's going to give you a lot more power and explosiveness. And again, you're going to be activating different muscles doing this correctly. So again, that's the main thing I want to show you for that, is just to make sure, again, that we're being as patient as possible on that right and really kicking down and back that left leg to the front of the center to get down a little bit quicker. Again, that patient right foot, and then coming out of it on the heel is going to be key. So again, those are the main things we want you to work on. Again, also the wrap here in the middle is kind of that last part that we want to look at, um, getting you ready for this upcoming year. Again, so here specifically, you can kind of see that it's opening up before your left foot's completely grounded. And again, the school of thought we're going with is we're going to keep you wrapped here in this position, and let your hips and your lower body get ahead of you into the throw. Again, some stuff on the finish we can polish, but we'll work on that later. So let's prioritize the stuff that we kind of went through in the setup and with your wrap in the middle. Let me know if you have any questions.